My name is Nicole Highland, and for the purpose of this Advanced Financial Reporting Assessment, I have selected to explain and analyse legitimacy theory. This will be done specifically through use of the journal article, accountability, narrative reporting, and legitimation, in the case of a New Zealand public benefit entity. The overarching theme of this article is how DOC New Zealand seeks not only to legitimise themselves with Parliament, but also to society as a whole. Within this falls three main points. The Department of Conservation, commonly referred to as DOC, is a public benefit entity. Their sole purpose of operation is to provide a community benefit. In this case, preservation of natural and historical resources for future generations. Hence, their current capability, accountability, and performance, or CAP, reporting model targets reporting solely toward the requirements of the government. Media and other external factors largely influence the way this perceived DOC should operate. Increased globalization, especially technology advancements and availability of information, have dramatically broadened the spectrum of role setters within this industry. It is vital for continued company legitimization that DOC use both reactive and proactive responses to media scrutiny where appropriate. A further point suggests exercises in self-preservation are equally as important as their work in preservation of natural and historical resources. Obtaining the optimum balance between the two is empirical to DOC's operational success. The key objective of this research was to determine how formal accountability mechanisms and informal reporting approaches can be used to justify an entity's existence. This research focuses specifically on major public benefit entity, the Department of Conservation. Over a period of 19 years, the researchers achieved their objective by closely examining DOC's informal reporting disclosures over time. Results then showed the relationship pursuing legitimacy. For example, they considered what techniques do management use throughout the annual report to portray the entity and their actions in the most favourable way, and how do these images portrayed impact the stakeholders of the entity. Other scenarios were also considered. These were controversial to the continued operation of DOC and of major impact to multiple stakeholder groups and individuals. For example, the impact of dumping 1080 poison throughout New Zealand. The researchers examined how DOC reacted to these situations over time to determine the most effective approach in these situations. Grant Samkin and Annika Snyder discovered three main points through their research. Public benefit entities, such as DOC and their public representatives, are held accountable for their actions. Stakeholders want to see funds put into DOC spent to achieve public benefit rather than used for making other economic decisions. A stakeholder is any person with an interest in the entity or its operation. DOC have a complex network of stakeholders. Often these groups and individuals have opposing views on the exact same topic. This complicates their decision process as DOC tries to satisfy the needs and wants of all parties while still achieving their own objectives. Entities, particularly those for public benefit, should follow a process to legitimise their existence to stakeholders. This approach should effectively combine three different strategies to gain, maintain, and repair legitimacy. Gaining legitimacy refers to actions taken by the entity when introducing a new concept or idea. The entity should proactively work to gain the support of stakeholders for the new initiative. Maintaining legitimacy is where the entity keeps the support they have already acquired. For example, this may be done through voluntary disclosures creatively displaying the benefits of a non-financial initiative of the entity. Finally, repairing legitimacy requires substantial effort to react to an unforeseen issue. This may be due to a natural disaster or negligence on the part of an employee or other party. The entity must now. Legitimacy is a generalized perception or assumption that the actions of an entity are desirable, proper, or appropriate within some socially constructed system of norms, values, beliefs, and definitions. Legitimacy theory, therefore, is an accounting situation where a company or other entity is bound by an invisible social contract. They must act in a way which is both socially acceptable to their stakeholders and meets the goals of the organisation. Done effectively, this builds an organisation which will continue to exist indefinitely. Legitimacy is hard to define. It changes depending on the organisation, their stakeholders' perceptions, and the environment in which they operate. Many external factors combine to determine how an organisation can be legitimate in each different situation. In 1994, at a New York accounting conference, it was suggested entities have 4 strategies available to them as they undertake the process of legitimation. Convincing stakeholders through educating and informing of the appropriateness of the organisation's actions rather than changing its own actions. This should be used to assure the stakeholders they can trust the decisions the entity has made and that they will continue to put the stakeholders' safety and support first. The second strategy is using emotive symbols to manipulate stakeholder perceptions. For example, this may be used to overturn the way a stakeholder views negative media attention. Changing external performance expectations is the third strategy. Altering the way the media or other external organisations impact the way the organisation operates. This may be done by launching an abstract promotion changing the way the public view the organisation. The final and fourth strategy is educating and informing stakeholders about organisational changes made in response to performance shortcomings. This will ensure all stakeholders understand the reasoning behind decisions and also make them feel welcome to contribute with ideas and other feedback for the operation of the entity. Organisations may choose one of the approaches singularly, or, as is usually the case, a mixture of the approaches. Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation for Sue Malthus, Advanced Financial Reporting. I hope you have found this presentation both interesting and informative.